Can you see this map? Can you see the map on the screen? This is the cyber attacks that are currently going on across the world. Live map, live. It is not recorded or it's not a simulation. I can't show you the countries, but India is one of the highest targeted countries for attacks. There have been 6.5 million attacks today. 65 lakh attacks today. It keeps happening all the time. There is malware, there is phishing, which is social engineering, which Vishal mentioned, and there are endpoint compromises. This is the exploits. The exploit attack. The yellow lines is what I'm talking of. Whether you have data or not, your PC is being used to compromise others. You're a source of an attack without your knowledge. This is the kind of attack that we are facing as of now across the world. US is being so because of the timeline. It's early morning and they are more active now. And if you'd seen about a couple of hours back, it would have been Europe and Asia during early hours here. So I just want to give you a glimpse of the kind of the scene that goes around outside without our knowledge. We are very lucky if we have not been compromised, but it's not a matter of if or not, it's a matter of when. Someday we'll all be breached if you're not already breached. And the cyber attacks are not something you can see. There are a few. Okay, website got defaced. You will come to know in the papers, or you will come to know by one of your customers. But a lot of attacks are invisible. They are used to launch attacks, not probably to compromise you. From that perspective, it's very pertinent that we put this hygiene controls. I'm not talking of very high-tech controls. Basic hygiene controls that we don't allow our systems to be used for attacks. Patching, two-factor authentication, and segregation of networks. Basic 3-4 things you do, so if you are well taken care of. I'm back. So for all the questions that you are asking, I think the answer is much bigger than us or Harsha.
Seshadri, my question was on that last chart that you showed. So maximum, can you find where is it originating from? So
Sorry,
which
really
is the
doesn't
space?
matter.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because an attacker will never reveal his source. He uses proxies, right? You got VPN, you got Tor networks, right? If you want to watch Netflix content in the US, which is not in India, I'll use a VPN. People use VPN, right? Similarly, they use VPNs and Tor networks to launch attacks. They will never ever reveal their source. So the biggest challenge in cyber attacks, unlike a conventional warfare, where you can see the enemy, you can see the soldier on the border or the aircraft or the ship. In cyber, you can never see your attacker. He's always hidden in multiple layers of defense. I don't think there are very few convictions, and they have taken years to get convicted. It's taken years for even a very powerful country like US to convict certain groups. It's not easy. So it's better to prevent rather than become a victim and then run around to recover from that. Even if you take the international numbers, every company that suffers a cyber attack, the market cap goes down by 50% within 7 days. And it takes 2 years to recover from there. To understand in capital market language, I'm not an expert, but in terms of value, it crashes immediately. Take Equifax, takes Capital One, Travelex, where not only the top guys have lost their jobs, the market cap has gone down by 50% in under 7 days, and it's taken 2 years to recover. If that is acceptable, okay, I don't think it's acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Mr. Seshadri. There's another query that we have. So someone has written that they have the antivirus program and they've also installed the firewall. Are there any other security needs that they should install in their hardware setup, in their cybersecurity infrastructure setup? Yeah. So the query is that they already have the antivirus program. They also have the firewall. So is there any other cybersecurity infrastructure that they need to install?
Yeah, it depends on the size of the organization and what all they are serving in terms of applications and services to customers. It's very like if you're a 5-member organization with no website to serve, no not much of an internet access or a lease line access and all that, then an antivirus, network segmentation, second factor will suffice. If the moment you put a website and you need a WAF, you need API protection if you're exposing APIs. It's very, unless you specify what all you have in your environment, it's very difficult to answer that question. And I don't want to make it complicated by imagining things.
Mr. Shah, do you wish to add on to something with Mr. Seshadri said?
Yeah, I think Seshadri generally covers everything, so there is very less room to cover more. I'll just add from the overall governance perspective, I think rather than only technical controls, education is something that we all have been talking. So conducting regular trainings for your employees and team members is something that should be part of the game. And also the monitoring controls, though you have the firewall, it will not make sense till the time you monitor what is going wrong. So I think frequent monitoring is something that also should be part of the. So it's more about the management, operational management, and not only the technical controls. I think if that is taken care additionally, the rest of the things can be more better.
Okay, thank you. So the next query is pertaining to both NSE and SEBI again. So someone has asked that what reports that need to be submitted by 31st July and the VAPT reports. Other than these reports, are there any other reports that they have to submit before 31st July?
So I think the audit reports, which will of course include the VAPT, etc., will have to be submitted, and then the ATR can be submitted later. But the audit, the preliminary audit, which will cover all these aspects, the VAPT and all the other tests that they do for cybersecurity, will have to be will be a part of the preliminary report, audit report.
Okay.
Yeah. So currently the deadline for this is 31st July, and the ATR is 31st October.
Yes.
Unless unless it kind of shifts.
So I've also collated the questions that have appeared, while the panelists were delivering their address. So one query is that the understanding among the brokers is that the incidents need to be reported, but not the attempts. As Mr. Seshadri mentioned, if all attempts on the firewall are to be reported, the current format cannot just allow that. This is asked by Mr. Shishir Dhula. So the current format is
have to be reported. I think incidents have to be reported, not the attempts. Attempts will be in thousands, lakhs, if not.
okay.
I think it's a successful breach. The successful breach,
Yeah.
or breach or an accidental access would lead to impact, and that needs to be reported.
That clarifies. Yeah, that clarifies. Then someone has asked that the cybersecurity consultant wants to install their software in our network system, which will monitor our traffic and activities. How do we ensure that our data is secure and not read by the software? Secondly, will it affect the speed of the order placement and speed of network? And it will be, and there is a suggestion that it will be more trustable if NSE empanels the cybersecurity consultants. So this is by Mr. Balaji.
Probably came in that Vishal's biodata says that he is one of the hackers. So, so people are concerned that if the data is sitting with someone who is an auditor, then kya hoga hamara? Just on a lighter note. Yeah. So.
Well, if you have given an order to a consultant, you have to trust him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And so there's one question. Yeah, there's a question that why can't SEBI exchange, the clearing corporation and NSDL carry out periodical mock testing on the lines of mock trading? So this will bring forth the weaknesses or lapse at any level and will save the additional exercise and cost at the broker level. So this has been asked by one of the participants in the chat panel, of this webinar. They're saying that it could be done over the mock trading lines. And so anything which the panelists wish to throw light upon on that?
I guess if the brokers register with the MarketSoc, I think it is part of the MarketSoc's activity to do so. So I think they will have to get registered. They'll have to start utilizing the services of the MarketSoc. If they want the exchanges, it will be of course the subsidiary of the exchange who does it, who sets up the MarketSoc. So in a way, the exchange will be doing the mock test.
So there is one Miss Dolly Dhavle, and her question is that as per the SEBI circular dated 14th of December 2018, SOC services can be provided by subsidiaries of MIIS. Can we take the SOC facility from third-party vendor? So can they obtain a SOC facility from third-party vendor?
Yes, they can. This is the December 2018 circular just facilitates them, the very small brokers, to use the facilities of the MarketSoc, because we presume that the MarketSoc will have less costs compared to a third-party vendor. So it doesn't prevent them from using the services of a third-party vendor.
Yeah. So I think we've finished with the questions, and with that we've come to the end of this webinar, and I would like to propose a vote of thanks before we say goodbye to each other. And it would be most proper that I mention that this program is a result of the efforts of Dr. V.R. Narasimhan, who is Dean at NISM, and also Dr. V.R. Prasad, CEO NME. They both guided the respective teams from NME and from NISM to make this program possible. We are thankful to the IT team at NISM, particularly Mr. Madala and Mr. Vikram Lal Singh. You would have heard Vikram, helping us out during the course of this webinar, and Ms. Darshana Patil for their continued support. And we also wish to thank Mr. Sahil Malik, the General Manager Marketing at NISM, and his team for sending out the invites to the participant, and the marketing team at NME and the IT team at NME for making this webinar possible. And our thanks are also due to Ms. Shubhangi Chaturvedi. She is the Assistant Manager at NISM for helping us out with the background work for this seminar. And we are thankful to the panelists for taking out their time, and the dignitaries, Mr. Anup Khandelwal and Mr. Sunil Kadam, to take out time from their busy schedules and to provide continual support for this webinar. With that, we come to the end of this webinar. We conclude the webinar and wish you all the best of health and safety. Wish that you all keep safe and healthy. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Vishal, for hosting us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.